All right. I want to welcome everyone to, of course, our most recent now episode of the HerdCon PopCast. I am here today with Alexis and Aurora, who are is it president and vice president
That's correct.
of the Cherry Blossom Cosplay. I am one of your hosts, Michelle Alford, and I'm here also with our remote host, Heather. You want to say hi?
Hi.
You didn't say hi, Heather, this time.
Oh, hi, Heather.
It's always the fun of being able to do the remotes. We can be all kinds of silly.
I guess it's also the fun of having your own podcast. You get to
It
be as silly as
is.
you want.
It is. Like,
Yeah.
we have to be silly within restraints, I guess, but we get to have fun with it. It's just, we can't complain about that part.
That's
Oh gosh, especially since it's popping up in my faculty activity
Oh, yeah.
report. So yes.
Oh, that's so fun.
Oh, look.
Silliness but controlled.
Activity. Yeah, you're on YouTube now. So, and now Spotify.
Oh gosh.
You gotta have to add that to the faculty report.
Oh gosh.
Oh yes. So welcome again to HerdCon PopCast. And we're talking with the Cosplay Club, the Cherry Blossom Cosplay Club. And tell us a little bit about the club and about yourselves, guys.
So we started this club not that long ago. It feels like a year at this point, right?
Mhm.
And we love cosplaying so much, and we wanted to make our own community to do it. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been, the pandemic has been making going to conventions hard, but our goal is to go to conventions together and cosplay together and just really create a cosplay community here on campus. And I think we've achieved that so far.
It's so hard to make friends in college sometimes, and we hope that our club helps people make friends with people that also like cosplay.
Awesome.
It can be such a broad topic as well with cosplay, where it's like you meet people who you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was something to be into. Like, and you not only do you meet new people, but I feel like I experience so much new stuff when I meet a member, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to like watch this new thing now because you're obviously it's like the passion that is involved with this sort of stuff. It like is infectious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
So-
would say so. My daughter is a huge fan of cosplay, and it always amuses me because it's like we'll watch a new show, and then it's, oh my God, I need to cosplay this character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like this excitement bubbling up from this 12-year-old and this, I did, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you talk to all their friends, oh yeah, we need to do this.
So I think it's so special that your daughter is so into it because 12 is like when I got really into cosplay. So
That's
having like a
awesome.
supportive parent is just, that's so good.
She's been into it now.
Yeah.
She was 6. We
so
started
good.
with RWBY.
Oh, that's a good one to start
And
with. That's fun.
it was like, ooh, okay. It's like,
Dive in
you
deep.
are so lucky. Your mom and grandma like so.
That's exactly what my mom said to me. She said, "You're lucky that you have an aunt that knows how to sew."
Hey, man, it helps so much because it's expensive.
It can be. It really can be. My first ever cosplay was Toph Bei Fong, but specifically her
Okay.
like firebender outfit.
Yeah.
So I had to like I was like 12 and we made it all ourselves, and it ended up being kind of expensive, but I looked so cool.
Oh, yeah.
So it was worth it in my brain.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when did you start, Alexis, with cosplay?
I think my first cosplay, I was going to a book fair, and I'm like, I want to dress up as Violet Baudelaire. I was like 12, but literally the only thing I did was put on a pretty dress and a bow in my hair.
Still, I mean, and that I think is where people get started.
I think it can be that simple as well. It's just like I am this character because I like dress in the way that I think they would dress. Like you see on like TikTok, people do like they called like casual cosplays where they or closet cosplays where they literally will grab like clothes from the closet that they already own and do their best to make a cosplay out of what they already have. And
They're
I think
really
it's
cool sometimes.
Oh yeah.
really creative as well, like what people will use to make certain looks, and you're like, that's genius. Oh my goodness.
Well, and it's very creative when you do that because I mean you're taking that idea of I've got the basic idea of what this character is and what it means to be that character.
Hmm.
And then you're throwing that into what you have on hand. I mean, that's kind of a very creative process.
We always recommend to our members that Goodwill's your best friend. If you can like have an image in your mind of a character and who you want to be, and then go to Goodwill, you're probably going to
Mhm.
find something that works. It's really beautiful.
I think it's amazing when people cause it cosplay and like you still see them and instantly know what they're dressing as.
Yeah.
I think also makeup is a huge like fun part of that, where like you can just use whatever clothes you want from your closet, and then you do a makeup look and you're like, that looks actually so cool and good. And TikTok is great for looking at cosplays.
It is. It is. That is one of the things I see with my daughter a lot. We do a lot of TikTok watching and following because, of course, when you run into the cosplay community, that's one of the greatest places to find them. That and Instagram.
Yeah.
Because so many of them hop on and are sharing, the different costumes that they're putting together. And then you get people like, what is it, Kamui Cosplay that does those amazing videos.
Yeah.
I'm always sitting there like, oh my God, the budget you have. It's like you just made a full armor set of EVA foam.
I watched somebody make
armor.
an entire chainmail armor like themselves for a cosplay, and I was like, you one have an amazing budget, and two have truly extraordinary patience.
Yes.
Oh
Like,
gosh. So out of curiosity, what is the most out there thing that someone that has been really into this particular cosplay that you weren't familiar with? What is the most out there thing that you've been like, oh, so you're into this. I like you. Let me go ahead and watch this.
Or do you mean like the show?
Like our WBY or
Okay,
you
actually, the
know,
inspiration
or Ford Art or something like that.
I would actually say Ruby was one. RWBY was one of the ones where I saw cosplays from it, and I was like, wow, those cosplays look really good. I have to watch a little bit of this show.
Mhm.
I had one of those too. I can't pinpoint it though. It happens all the time. I'm like, wow, this was so good. You executed this so perfectly that I'm convinced to watch it now.
It's a lot of anime. I will be like,
Yeah.
anime
Mhm.
cosplayers are like top tier. Like everyone's obviously an amazing, like, but I will
Mhm.
see spectacular anime and I will not know what the anime is. And I'm like, well, that's added to the list.
It was Kakaguri.
The Kakaguri.
It was.
I
I
still haven't
saw
watched it.
it's like
seen
a
that one.
gambling one,
Okay.
but I
Oh.
saw cosplay and I'm like, wow, I gotta watch this.
Well, was it one of our friends, actually, a personal friend, was cosplaying Danganronpa. And that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe I will
Yeah. They
watch
had us play
Danganronpa.
and watch it. So
Yeah.
Aw.
So mostly animes, yeah.
Well, yeah, I find it funny that is one of the, I guess, kind of inadvertent things that happens when you cosplay is when you get to know other cosplayers, you do kind of look up what they're cosplaying and you start looking at other animes or other movies and all these things. And you do kind of expand your horizons very much.
I find the cosplay community a very sharing community,
Mhm.
especially like when it comes to things like that, where they like we always share like it is inherently sharing what you love when you cosplay like at a convention or something, and you just like get these little bits of people of like this is something that they obviously love so much that they put all this effort into. Like it's just like fun and sharing. It's like a very communicative.
Awesome.
I think one of my favorite parts about going to conventions is if I'm dressed as a character, I see someone else dressed as the same character because I'm like, oh, we like the same thing enough that we both cosplay this today. It's a fun experience.
I've been really into The Witcher and I cosplay Yennefer from The Witcher.
Oh, nice.
And I love running into Geralt and I love running into other Yennefers. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, we love the same thing so much. And it's always like, that's probably my favorite part of conventions and cosplaying is just being like, same wavelength.
Well, and to me, what's cool about that is that so commonly when you see things in the media, we have the negative, oh, they're wearing the same dress to the Oscars. But when you get into the cosplay community, it's, oh my God, you're doing the same thing as me. How did you do this part?
That's yeah.
Or there's that excitement of
Or
Because everyone
camaraderie.
does things differently, especially makeup. Like
Mm.
with anime characters, they don't really wear makeup, but of course, to like kind of get the feel, you kind of have to translate into real world makeup. And it's like cool to see how everyone interprets it differently.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and also people will do like straight up different interpretations of characters. Like my favorite thing to see is like steampunk interpretations of characters. They always look so cool.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
I'm quite a fan of the steampunk. I find I've always been a big science fiction fan. So
Mhm.
the
What's your
steampunk part just feels like that moving into the science fiction and all that kind of stuff, pulling it into your different fandoms, and it's fun.
what's your
Oh,
favorite science fiction?
I don't know if I have a single favorite because I love reading like the old 70s Robert Heinlein and was it Roger Silverberg or Robert Silverberg?
Robert Silverberg.
Yeah. Um
Yeah.
And
And
Clark and all these, all these old 70s, all the way up through current science fiction. And it's like, and Frank Herbert, probably
yeah.
one of my biggest fandoms as far as, authors go, because I love the Dune saga. And
I never got into Dune, but my parents adore Dune. So I've heard so
So
much about
good.
it just through like osmosis.
Oh yeah. If
Oh,
you
you haven't seen the movie?
I haven't. I'm a huge like Zendaya fan as well, so I feel like
Mhm.
it's a crime
it-
that I
Yeah,
haven't
and
seen it
really
yet.
Florence
good.
Pugh is going to be in the next one too.
Oh,
so
I'm a
I have to
huge
see
Florence
it.
Pugh fan.
Yeah, you need to see
Oh,
it.
that's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah,
So
so far I've seen the David Lynch, then the one they did in the late 90s,
The TV version. Yeah.
and it was Sting.
Yeah.
no way.
Oh yes,
Sting.
Sting.
Oh.
Stu was in he was in the Lynch version.
Was he in the? Yeah, he was in the Lynch version. Who was in the? Now I can't remember.
I think they were all minor actors.
But it was a lot of fun. But it was like the David Lynch. You got that very short version, and if you want to play with costumes, that's one of those fun ones to kind of play with, because like the still suits are like neat concept of
You could make one of those out of a trash bag.
like as a costume or as a real life.
Yeah. Oh no, as a costume. I'm like a real suit? No.
That would have been could you imagine?
The whole idea, it collects your sweat and then you drink it.
Oh,
Well, maybe you
science.
could make it out of a trash bag.
Is that what those suits are for?
Yeah.
My
and-
goodness.
and they're to process all of your moisture, because the idea is you're on a desert planet that will suck all the moisture right on out of you.
Oh,
So
by the way, it's
suit,
all of your moisture.
all of your moisture.
Ooh.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I think I'll-
Filtration. It's like Bear Grylls on steroids.
That's
I
insane.
think I'd rather not.
I think I could. Just the imagination though of science fiction, where like I always think science fiction and fantasy like have so much in common, but science fiction feels like they have to back it up more.
Mhm.
Where fantasy is like, no, it's my world and I created this. Science fiction's like, it is my world, but also here are all the elements behind this, and it's like it's so
Mhm.
interesting to read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
With
agree.
fantasy, you can just write it off. Oh, it's just magic.
Yeah, for sure.
But fantasy has its perks. Like I mean, Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I am a huge fantasy fan. Like I said, The Witcher,
Yeah.
one of my favorite is one of my favorite book series. And that's huge fantasy.
I think an interesting fantasy that kind of does the sci-fi thing that explains it, even though they really don't need to, is Twilight.
Yes. They
Twilight
really
explains
needed to-
Everything. Everything.
Yeah, and you're like, maybe I didn't need an explanation on this one. Thanks, Stephanie.
Oh my gosh. And it's just like I remember watching that and just because I watched it before I read it, and I was just like, okay, Bella's depressed.
Yeah, that's basically it. Do you have any like pieces of media like that where like it's not good. It's not good, but it's like it's yours and you enjoy it. Mine is definitely Twilight. It's garbage. It truly is, and I understand that. I will be the first one to point out exactly why it is garbage. But
That doesn't stop us from having a Twilight bathroom in our house.
we do have a
Right.
Twilight bathroom in our house.
You know what? You got to run with it sometimes. I like the cheesy horror movies.
So good.
But not just cheesy ones. I have a ridiculous obsession with the concept of the Nazi zombie horror movie.
There you go.
So
How to defeat them
Red
twice.
Snow and Oasis of the Zombies, and it gets so weird
There are
when
some
you watch them.
bizarre ones out there.
Yeah. And Frankenstein's Army is one of them, and Outpost, and yeah, they're neat and kind of like insane, but
I
it's
think
a guilty pleasure, I guess.
I think a lot of cheesy horror, like it is cheesy, but some of the ideas behind cheesy horror are really interesting to look at when you like look
Yeah.
past like this is not a well-made movie, but like what are the ideas within it? It's a very interesting thing to look at.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I personally is Star Wars fan.
Mm. But I feel like Star Wars isn't like a guilty pleasure. Like that's a are you
More mainstream.
yeah.
Yeah, but back in the back in the 90s, when the movies weren't current,
True.
it was kind of a guilty pleasure.
That's fair. That's fair. They did get a huge like mainstream recently, I feel like within the last 10 years.
Last 10, 20 years, you had a big, huge resurgence of Star Wars. And there for a while, it was that only the hardcore people like the Star Wars. And then, of course, you get into the prequels and all that. And the hardcore people got mad and gatekeeped, but then it brought so many more people into the fandom.
Yeah.
I feel like
I was happy to have more people around.
Yeah. I think that's a very interesting dichotomy within like fan culture is like the people who are gatekeeping and like this is my thing, and then the people who are like, oh my god, no way, this weird niche thing. That makes me so happy. Like, or like recommending weird niche things to people because they want more people to like it. Like, I'm always so confused at gatekeepers. Like, don't you want people to like this?
Exactly. It seems it is a very odd thing when people are like, okay, you know what? I really like this thing and I want to share it, but I don't want you to like it.
Yeah.
Or I don't want you to like it in your own way.
Yeah.
And that's always to me very frustrating because it's like, that no, you don't want people to do anything. You just want them to be clones of you.
Yeah. I actually
cloning.
wanted you to discover this on your own 20 years ago. Why haven't you done that? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, no.
Like, come on.
Ooh,
It's like,
that could be like, ooh, I love Andre Norton. And Michelle would be like, Andre Norton? Who's that? And then I could explain it to her. And then she'd be like, oh no, that's boring.
Yeah, the joy of sharing it with a friend, even if that's probably maybe not their thing.
exactly. And I love to share. I am completely up for, hey, let's play D&D tonight, or let's go on and hop on Elder Scrolls, or let's play this or do this. And it's so funny to me when you have people who are just like, but that's no, I don't want to share that. No, come on. That's the fun part.
So when did you first get into D&D? Have you been one of those like since the beginningers or?
No. I didn't get into D&D until my first marriage.
Oh.
Because I had my partner at the time was a huge D&D fan.
Yeah.
And they met regularly with their friends. So I got huge into it then and loved because the DM that they had, Jeff, I don't know if you're listening, but you're still my favorite DM. He would run Call of Cthulhu too.
I've always wanted to play.
that's the thing I fell in love with the most.
Yeah.
And we would play with it was the BRP role playing system, which was a very different and just such a different kind of or I guess what would you call it? A different kind of feel to it when you're playing something like Call of Cthulhu, where in D&D, it's made for you to make epic wins.
Yeah.
And it really is made for you to make epic wins. But Call of Cthulhu is you could fail so spectacularly.
Yeah.
You're still very, very human.
My first DM was my dad. So I've been playing since I was a little kid. And he would make little I remember one was a space one. Like he would just really make his own things based off of Firefly and Serenity. So that was like when I'm thinking of D&D games and like tabletop RPGs, I always think of my dad just like on the spot, this little kid, like having to rework an entire little script because I was like, actually, I'm gonna befriend the guy on the, and he's like, you're gonna what? Okay, let's go. Let's do this then.
That makes for the best D&D games or any kind of tabletop RPG is the fact that the players really do have control and maybe the GM, but oops, they just went completely off the rails and now you got to think on your feet.
All right, we're doing this now. That's why I don't know if you guys watch any of like actual play podcasts, but I think some of the best ones are with like improv players because like you're like, oh, these people are like trained kind of to do improv, which makes the games so interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, I love Critical Role.
Critical Role, yeah.
Watching them play.
Do you know Dimension 20?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Their Fantasy High and Starstruck Odyssey are some of my favorite actual play I've ever seen.
I'll have to look at that.
So yeah,
I've done a lot of the Adventure Zone.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. They're from here.
Yes,
like they're Huntington.
They're Huntington natives, and like Clint and Justin both still live here.
Yeah,
and are still like active.
I ran into him in Target once. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, hi.
That's like
one day we will get them at HerdCon.
I know.
Yeah.
Helping out that earwig, and we're really like,
I'm in the theater. Oh, I'm kind of in the theater department, and I know Clint still has some fingers in that pie. So we'll see.
Yeah, Clint, and I want to say some of the extended family are still very much into like local theater, and I keep like, come to HerdCon, please. Like, just come to Marshall and have a weird Adventure Zone night with us. We'll just have a big weird game night.
Yeah.
Gosh,
fun.
So fun.
Speaking of HerdCon, I really loved what you guys did at HerdCon this year.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah. A bunch of you came and you set up a table and you volunteered for the con.
Absolutely.
And you plugged Cherry Blossom. So
we talked to all of our members beforehand, like, hey, this is like our hometown con. Like this is our con. We want to be as involved as possible. We encouraged every single one of our members to volunteer and help. And I know at least the officers were there pretty much like every available volunteering block because I personally think it's really important. Like hometown, like this is ours. Like we gotta be there. We gotta support it. And honestly, running a table was very fun. I really enjoyed it. We had like Japanese candy. We got really cool Japanese candies and like stickers and
perler beads.
And it was like meeting people outside of the Marshall bubble almost. Like whenever we table here, obviously we're only meeting students. But we got like kids, we got like grandparents who came. It was so cool.
And we tried to have our own version of the ribbon game. We had some of our friends that had other tables hold the ribbons for us.
I would love to do ribbons this year.
Ribbon games.
So if you guys want to help us pull
Yeah.
in some groups, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to do some ribbon games and
I genuinely
scavenger
think it
type
would be.
hunts through the con looking for stuff like that. 'Cause,
Yeah,
oh my
one of the
gosh.
ones we had friends who were dressed as the Powerpuff Girls, and you had to find, was it find each of the Powerpuff
I
Girls?
think it was Find Bubbles.
Oh, find Bubbles, and if you found Bubbles, then you'd get a thing. And I was Jennifer, and if you found me, I would give you a Witcher themed um
Oh, that's
ribbon.
cool.
They were all
Oh,
themed. It was
cool.
cute. Yeah, it was
I
so
would
fun.
love to do that with this year's HerdCon because I mean, and we're still, of course, in our planning stages and building for this year, and
Mhm.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm already exhausted, but I can't wait.
I think that's my favorite part of all of this is I've only ever been a person who goes to conventions, and like being on the
Mhm.
other side and watching everything that like you guys have done to make HerdCon a thing is really interesting and like truly cute because like you guys do so much work behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're so excited this year to help out more.
Oh yeah.
We're really excited.
Oh yeah.
I really am glad that we were able to start the club.
Mhm.
For listeners, we've started a student club that it's technically open to the community too. So if you're interested, you can join us first Tuesday of each month. We're working on building what we're going to do for this year. And I mean, we're really excited because I mean, we're talking with you all right now about working on a maid cafe,
We
or at least what we're going to call our own version because we've got, of course, our own little restrictions with food and stuff on
Yeah.
campus.
we have been talking about a maid cafe for it feels like years.
Yeah.
It's been something we've wanted to do for so long.
And all our members get so excited about it.
They're like,
"This
they're like,
year's the
can I be
year."
a cat maid? And I'm like, yes.
Okay, so tell us about what exactly is a maid cafe?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So like
Tell all of our
in
listeners.
Japan, they actually have like restaurants that are maid cafes, and some of them are more extreme than others. But like the general concept is that you've got these people dressed as maids and they do cute dances and they're kind of an aesthetic thing. Like, those maids you see in anime? Well, it's kind of like that. And they serve you food and do cute dances, and it seems like a fun experience.
Yeah, and it seems like a fun experience not only for like people who like getting the food, but like also for the people in the cosplays, like doing the fun stuff. Like people, like you said, the Garfield maid we were talking about earlier from but
Subasakon, right?
Asakon, yeah. But people can get so creative when you just give them the prompt maid costume, and they're like, okay, like cat maid. Someone was like,
Mhm.
we've gotten a couple of ideas that we're like, you know
Yeah,
what?
no, I
Go
need
for
to see
it.
a Xenomorph.
Oh my god.
Your sister mentioned
Xenomorph
that.
maid.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, I love the alien movies. But I know at SubasaCon they had cryptid like
Yes.
maids.
yes.
It was really
Oh,
cool.
that's so fun. I'm a huge cryptid fan. Like,
Oh, this year at Subasakon, I was dressed up as Totoro.
Really?
cool.
I saw your the picture that you shared on Facebook.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I decided I was a cryptid.
Beautiful. I mean,
He kind of is,
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like he meets enough of the requirements to be considered a cryptid.
Yeah, I think so. But now, what are you guys thinking so far? I know we've just really started talking about the main cafe, but I mean, what would you like to see happen with it?
We're throwing around ideas right now because we don't like making huge decisions
yeah.
without our members. We like to include them in everything. But some of the ideas we thought going into it was we're not sure if it's going to be something you have to book in advance or you can just come in. We don't know
Okay.
we're going to discuss like what we think would work best at HerdCon.
Okay.
I
So
think that's actually our next meeting topic is
yeah,
how
That'd be
are we going
awesome.
to do this? Who wants to be involved? We pride ourselves on making decisions with pretty much every member we possibly can because we don't like we created this club, like I said, to make a community, and community isn't just two people.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we really like to get people involved.
yeah, we don't want to be one of those clubs that the officers are behind a curtain making all the like pulling
Little
all the
puppets.
strings,
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah, so little weird right now because we need to have some conversations. I'm excited. We have such creative people. Really, I
We
love.
have a lot of bakers too, so
Oh.
So watch out
Always
for
like
that.
that.
We have a lot of bakers.
I feel like our
Including
food is
us.
gonna be good. Yeah.
We're actually roommates. We live in a house together, and we'll sometimes I feel like not argue. One of us will be making brownies, and then another will come in with a thing like, "Oh, you're making brownies." This happened with Katie, one of our other roommates, and she had another thing to bake, and she's like, "Okay, I guess I'll wait."
Aw.
It's so bad. So those brownies were so good.
To schedule the oven.
Yeah.
Have a little sign up sheet.
And what do you want to make? Because I feel like
Oh, prepare in advance.
or
that
like
you're not
tier
using up all
list,
the
like
eggs.
oh, that's true. But like if you're making brownies, you go to the top of the list. Those are so good.
Brownies are pretty amazing. Oh, I think they're one of my favorites. My daughter makes them every now and then, and it's quite a lot of fun because, like,
I feel like that's the reason my mom taught me how to bake was so
Oh,
that
yeah.
I would randomly make cookies and stuff. She would come home and she'd be like, "Ah, you're making something. What are you
Yep.
making?"
I know that's why my parents taught me how to cook, so that I would fix things, and they'd be like, "Oh, look, there's cookies." Yeah.
Sorry, good.
Oh, I think my mom hated that I love baking because she was perpetually on a diet while I was growing
Oh.
up, and she'd be like, "I can't have that." Um,
The day I actually like cooked dinner for my family looked at me and they went, "You made a mistake because you're now cooking dinner for us
Yeah.
way more often." And I was like, "Uh-oh, what did I do?" But yeah,
Aw, but it's a good mistake.
it's a fun mistake.
But I think one of the more important things we want to do for the Maid Cafe is we want to keep it affordable.
Mhm.
Because HerdCon is free it's free admission, and I wish we could make the Maid Cafe free admission, but
Oh yeah.
but we still want to make it as affordable as possible. So
Yeah.
that's something we'll have to talk about and brainstorm too.
I
sure.
love that because one of the things I really love that we've done so far is when we went from, I mean, we had a low admission anyhow. But when we went
$5.
$5 to free, I was so proud that we were able to do that. And we've still actually been able to pull in enough funds between sponsorships and whatnot to actually have money set aside for
Yeah.
the next year
Mhm.
kind of thing.
I
So yeah.
have mad respect for the free admission. I really do. I think
Mhm.
it's
Oh.
really good for our community to be able to go
I
and
think
see things like
so.
this and experience things all together.
Mhm.
Well,
Like,
Oh, and not only that, it's on the Marshall campus. So, you know,
yeah, for
It
sure.
is
go
a
around
great
and
way to come see the campus, to meet our students, to meet our faculty and staff, because almost everybody seems to come. It's so open.
And
You
I'm
can come
sure
in.
like people coming here is worth its weight in gold for
Oh,
like
yeah.
Marshall.
oh yeah.
know? Like, wow, this is cool. I want to go here.
Oh yeah.
This is the college I want to go
Honestly,
to.
the reason I chose Marshall was because I met some of the faculty and some of the people, and I was like, wow, these people are just so nice, like truly
Mhm.
kind people. And I was like, I
Good.
made my decision.
I love that because I love that people feel at home here
Mhm.
more than anything. It's like, when you go to college, it helps when you feel at home.
For
Mhm.
sure. My mom is a assistant dean of students at a university in Virginia, and a lot of the emails she gets.
Rivals.
Oh yeah, they don't have a football team, but every now and again, our football team will go up against a football team my mom cares about, and she'll be like, "I'm rooting for Marshall because you're there." I'm like, "Aw, mom." But a lot of the emails she gets from like parents are like, "Hey, my kid is having a lot of trouble finding friends," and like I think having an open free to admission nerd convention where people can come and be like, "Oh, so if I go to Marshall, I will not be the only nerd here. Like there's so many. There's faculty members here.
Oh, yes.
There's like I think it's so important and so fun."
Yeah, because like not to throw Subasicon under the bus, because I realize why they make us pay the prices they do. But I know so many friends of mine that couldn't go just because
I was unable to go to Subasicon this year because I just couldn't afford the tickets this year.
It
Um,
gets expensive, and we really are kind of lucky because where we are a university event, we can use our space here
Yeah.
Mhm.
and take advantage of the campus and stuff like that, and we don't have to pay rent.
Mhm.
Right.
That's true.
That's the one thing I can't imagine trying to do that on
paying-
like the civic center side and having to pay all this rent and having to, I
Just
mean,
can't imagine it.
Because they
it's
kind of
like-
use the
Yeah.
whole civic center.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's expensive.
yeah,
Oh gosh. Kevin,
Thing.
who's on our committee, was going on about how he was worried about the cost of the ballroom because they had acquired the ballroom for Sabasicon this year.
because they did the
Sorry, Sabasicon is just a recent occurrence, so it's a
They
little
did
bit on our tongues.
the what was it, the cosplay dance prom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hadn't had it in there before.
Oh wow.
The next con on our radar is GalaxyCon in
Okay.
where's it?
Oh,
Columbus or-
cool.
Columbus. It's in Columbus.
Okay.
We
I
want
knew
to
it was
go
close.
so bad.
Oh,
Want to go so bad.
Tara Strong was supposed to be there and she canceled.
oh,
Um, at first,
Aw.
when I'm bringing it up, the name has slipped my mind, but the voice of Kermit from the Muppet A Christmas Carol is going to be there,
oh,
and Rizzo.
okay.
And I'm an enormous Muppets fan. Like,
That's
it's
awesome.
probably one of my biggest things I love. So I want to go so bad.
Now, when is GalaxyCon coming up?
Oh, it's like December,
Oh,
early
okay.
December, I
Okay,
think.
that's not too
Mhm.
far away then.
No, it's not.
No, I try to keep a running list of all the like cons within like 6 hours of us because I love to try to attend them if I can. And if I know people are going, or a lot of times I will post stuff about area cons coming up so
Yeah.
that people can go to the Facebook page and be like, oh, look, there's this event coming up, like, what is it, Rothacon in Athens.
Yeah.
And I know I put in was HCon for Huntington here and little things
Mhm.
like that. And it's great putting it out there because it's like, this is stuff you can go do.
Yeah.
It's like, go have fun. It's like, we're not here for all your money. Go spend it
somewhere
somewhere else. It's like, don't wait all year round for HerdCon. Go. You
Said
can
it-
still nerd out.
You said a 6-hour radius. We accidentally expanded that radius a bit.
Oh, that's okay.
Because we went to a concert and we thought it was in what is it? We thought it was in
I thought it was in
Pittsburgh, but it ended up being in Philadelphia, which was
Ooh.
just a
Oops.
10-hour drive. But we
Ooh.
had a lot of fun. We entered a hotel. It was nice. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
But-
What concert you see?
It was Lil Nas X.
Okay.
We had so much fun.
Do you know if you guys are having your song along this year?
That is the plan.
Yeah.
We'll have to get all the actual details in, but yeah, we want to do that again. And I really want to repeat the accidental. If you weren't a part of last year, you might not know about this, but while we were setting up the vendor room, the sound system for the song along is connected to the building.
Mhm.
I love
So
imagining that.
It was so amazing. We were just all up there setting up the tables, and my vendors are doing their thing, and all of a sudden, la, 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 all the singing comes to it. Like, what is going on?
That's so
And then
fun.
we're all just kind of confused, and I was like, okay, let's go with it. And we're enjoying it. And then all of a sudden, one of our folks from the student center comes up and says, I'm so sorry about that. I'm working on getting it turned off.
No,
It's like,
don't.
you don't have to turn it off. We're loving it.
It's so fun.
Yeah, we
I-
had such a blast. And they were like, what's going on? It's like, there's a song along outside. You can go out in the balcony and watch.
I love when mistakes are good. When
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but actually, this is actually better, I think.
Oh yeah. It made all the vendors smile
That's
because they were
that's
just like,
fun.
hey, there's music, everything's going on. And then when they found out that it was actually the cosplay and drag song along thing going on, and they were like, there are people out there in costume. Yeah, you can go and watch from the balcony. And they were just so thrilled.
I really
That's
love
awesome.
the inclusion of drag as well. I
Oh, yeah.
love drag
Mhm.
shows, and I never find the time to actually go to one. So like
Oh,
seeing the drag performers I
They're
love it.
so great. And the drag community here in town is very friendly. They're
So
very open, and they do a lot of events here that gosh, I've taken my daughter to. They're
Yeah.
family friendly for a lot of them. And it's just really nice. I mean, because it lets you be a part of their community. I
Yeah.
love that.
Where I'm
That's
from, we
wonderful.
have like sometimes we have like a Disney drag show where it's all Disney themed and they dress up as Disney characters, and
That'd be amazing.
I was probably about 10,
we
no,
need to
maybe a
talk
little
to
younger.
Rodney.
Yes, but that was my first experience with drag, was going to a Disney drag show. It was so fun.
Oh, yeah. Hey, if you get a chance, they do a drag brunch in the summers, and a lot of times they will have it up at Ritter Park at the amphitheater. And I took my daughter this summer. She absolutely loved it.
So fun.
And it was like I said, it was hugely family friendly. There were people of all ages there. It wasn't super expensive to attend. They had food trucks up on the hill, so you could go and grab food and come back down. They had a lot of they had different youth services for the LGBT community, which was really nice. They had a lot of high school programs where LGBTQ youth could get involved and meet other youth.
Yeah.
So it was very nice, because I mean, I know that's one of the hardest things when you're a teenager is if you don't have that community around you, it's so much more likely to end up with depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. And I love that they had that.
Well, I wanted to say, like, it's kind of off topic and maybe a little weird, but I think it's admirable that you expose your daughter to this stuff, because I know a lot of people think, well, it's too young. And I think it's really nice that like you do that.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice that I feel like it's included with HerdCon as well. Like, because it is an all ages event, it is a free event, and we get this exposure to this community that a lot of people are.
It normalizes it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think is important, because I mean, one of the things with HerdCon is we want to be open to all, and just like Marshall, we want everyone to feel at home. And that's why we've got such a wider range of just crazy events between, I mean, we've got our traditional cosplays and panels, but that's why we had drones, and we had
robot battles.
One of these days we will have robot battles. We will find a way.
That's
like,
so
I
cool.
will talk to the Vex team and say, hey, can you make this happen? We
Just
will
have the drone
have to
fly into each other.
That's so
drone.
Imagine you're just like standing on the student center and you just see like two drones and you're like, huh, that's really cool. And then they just crash into each other and then it's like drone fights.
Yes. They have an MC for it though.
Oh, I would. That would be so good.
Yeah. We paint.
God.
They have.
I could just imagine Deacon going, "Oh my God, that drone was so expensive."
In this corner,
he would have a blast.
But no, one of the things that I really want to add to HerdCon, and it's a blood draw.
Yeah, blood draw.
Oh yeah. I have O negative blood, and I just did my first blood removal, and I've never done it before, and I was terrified. And the woman was like, "You'll be fine." I was like, "Okay."
God.
I wish I could give blood, but every time I do, I have this weird phobia about it, and I pass out.
No, that is a very valid thing. A lot of people.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get over my fear of needles, and funny enough, it was pregnancy that did it.
My mom's told me that will cure you of it.
They take so much blood while you're pregnant. Yeah, you just have to get over it.
Yeah.
I go to Dragon Con every year.
Oh, cool.
And just one of the first things that I do every time I go is I go and I donate. I donate blood. It's just one of the first things I do. And that's one of the things we wanted to bring to HerdCon.
I think that's really.
We actually had it scheduled for 2020, but then we got canceled the last minute. So we even put on the map, we actually put a vampire.
I was
It's
just
like,
saying, I love to
"Come the
imagine
blood
like
drive."
I
You
love
should have like the doctors or whatever dress up.
Amen.
like
Ooh.
The doctors and nurses to be dressed up like vampires. I think it would be amazing.
do not worry, this is going to a very safe place.
Seriously, they participate in the parade.
Oh,
They're part of the parade, the Dragon Con parade. And they have zombies swarming the Life South bus.
that would be
Oh,
amazing.
that's fun.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll
Already
manage to work it in.
Have a bus. I think the Red Cross in our area has a bus. If we
Yeah.
can do it
I know
as
they
a
have
bus, would be
vans.
amazing because then we
Yeah.
could put it outside and we could bring zombies around. It would just be such a hoot.
Oh, I love the idea of making things like that fun. Like
Oh yeah,
it's you're giving blood, but also
part of the zombie masses
Yeah.
afterwards.
they'll give you a juice box and this little sandwich.
Maybe a
Or you'll be the juice
Oh, yeah.
box.
Ooh. That's nice.
We need shirts. Yeah, be a juice box for the herd
That-
blood drive.
That was my favorite thing about getting blood was they did give me a shirt that said like thanks for donating or something like that. And I was like, yes, a free shirt.
Oh my goodness.
I had a
Yeah.
calculus class that the only way you could get extra credit was give blood. And of course,
Oh wow.
I never got any extra credit.
Oh, no.
You go multiple times just to get all that extra credit.
Oh, yeah, it's admirable. But yeah, there are some people that are on limitations that just can't do that one. But
Yeah.
you're good for extra credit. But very admirable.
Yeah. I that's why I really appreciate all the things that you guys are doing with HerdCon, like for the community. It's
Yeah.
like so good.
Is there anything in particular you guys want to see that we
Oh.
haven't talked about or anything? Something you would really love to see at HerdCon in the future?
Goodness.
Ideas.
I feel like we've actually mentioned that most of what I want, the ribbons. I
The
love
ribbons,
ribbon
the maid
games.
cafe,
Maid cafe.
I guess this means we need a badge.
Yeah, that's
We could do
true.
a
Give out
badge.
badges.
Yeah. That would be good.
trying to think.
I
my
love getting
God.
asked questions and my mind goes blank because
Oh,
I
it's
know
okay.
we have ideas.
Mhm. I know a lot of our members want to do the song along now.
Oh, good.
We
good,
actually-
good.
I
I'm
don't know if-
excited.
I'm allowed to mention this, but we were trying to get a group together to do something for the song along.
We want to do we need one more person. We need a Jane Seymour. But we want to do the 6 opening.
From the Broadway musical 6. It's about the
Oh, okay.
6 wives of Henry VIII.
Oh my.
And they wear these truly wild costumes, like and we're gonna make them ourselves and like
Oh,
do
that sounds
a song
exciting.
along. Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, definitely pass the ideas along. You know where to reach me,
100%.
herdcon@marshall.edu. That goes for all of you too. If you have ideas, let us know because we love ideas and we love including as much of both our campus and our community because it really is fun.
Yeah. And I do
Yeah,
want
and
to
they
shout out
don't
that-
have to be practical.
Yeah, you don't have to be practical. We will work around practicalities.
I know something that was at one Supasicon like years and years ago. I haven't seen it since. They would do like fake fighting with like foam weapons.
Oh,
and I thought that
yeah.
was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have seen that.
Like imagine
with
having a
larks
sword fight
and
with your
stuff.
friend.
Yes, that's so fun. I do want to shout out the student group that you mentioned earlier. We're both in it, and you really do let anyone like it's very open. You get to say what you want, and you do take every suggestion very seriously, and I appreciate
I'm
that.
so excited for that Mario Kart guy.
That Mario Kart
know.
guy, I'm
I'm so excited about that. And I think we're gonna try. I got to talk to him and see if we can organize like a pre-event, maybe this semester, something maybe close to finals as a hey, come blow off steam with us at the library and play Mario Kart. Heather,
so
you would
fun.
love the Mario Kart because
It's so cool.
it's Mario Kart with a Switch.
Ooh,
It's got a
I have a Switch.
Well, he's got a couple switch lights, and then he has these actual physical Mario Karts.
And he
Right?
sets up courses
With-
like
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
He sets up a course. He's got a YouTube channel where he's got some of the old videos that he's done. But each one has a camera on the front, so you run around the room, and you're
So
actually driving this thing with the Switch. But it also has a VR component because there's these symbols that you can, if that camera sees that symbol pop, that's comes up on your actual screen. So you can get the
Oh
power
gosh.
up from Mario Kart with your actual race car. It is so fun.
it's so
I actually
cool.
had an idea and I never got to tell him because I was
Oh.
too shy. I was thinking of how to incorporate the turtle shells.
Oh yeah.
And I thought like every once in a while, like you could spin this thing and if you get it, you can throw like a ball or something at someone's
Oh.
car.
That could be interesting. Throw a
That's
little
so
like
funny.
foam balls into
Yeah.
the court.
Or like, what was that
Oh
one
gosh.
Mario Kart level where they had the things that would like roll out and like be in your way and you had to like scoop?
The
Ooh.
cows.
Was it the cows? Sure. Or the one with the train in Mario
Ooh.
Kart DS.
See, that could be fun.
Also pass along to him that I want to see one of those like jumps. I want to see a jump.
We
On the
gotta
course.
jump.
Oh, that would be really cool to having jumps on the course.
Mhm.
Make it do a flip.
Oh my.
Maybe
Now we're
that,
getting to, like,
that might
Hot
not be
Wheels
possible.
level.
And just do the loop-de-loop that the
Oh, that would be amazing. I don't think they go
I don't
fast
think-
enough for that.
I don't think that's possible, but
I expect big things.
Oh yeah. I will say no because I really wanted it. I really want to have that set up because I think it would be a lot of fun. When he brought that to me, because he was part of HerdCon last year, he did the Jewels in the City.
yeah, I
And that
remember
was-
seeing him.
I love the Jewels in the City, with the whole idea of, vending machines full of just random local art that you could, take home for $1. That's
I
awesome.
love it.
But it's like when he had come to me and we were talking about doing Jewels in the City again this year. And then he was like, oh, hey, by the way.
I also love that he was like, I just got this stuff because I thought it was cool. He was
Exactly.
like, I happened to buy like 4 switch lights because they were on sale and I wanted this. And I was like, you know what? You're cool.
Oh, yeah. Zane's awesome. He's an alumni now. And that's always just really cool that, we were able to bring him back in to the Marshall campus because of HerdCon and all
fun.
this and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, does he have his like machines at HerdCon, like the Jewels in the City?
Yes,
Okay.
he's planning on having those again. Last year we had them set up there in the lobby, not far from your old table, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
And
There were like
it
the
was
little
it was really fun, and I'm hoping that we can do some with HerdCon trinkets in them, and then have it as a prize. So if you go and you spend money on the Jewels in the City, which means you might get random local art, which is cool, but you might get a HerdCon trinket that you can take and turn in at the desk for a prize.
we do
So-
like pins, like enamel
could-
pins.
Possibly. Very
think that-
possible.
I think
I
that'd
know
be-
I can do buttons because we actually have our own button maker.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I want a button maker. It's one of the things that we've like casually talked about getting. Like,
Oh,
man, we kind of want a button maker.
button makers are cool. They're expensive.
They
to
that's
get.
know.
that's our main.
We're trying to talk to our treasurer, like maybe we do need this. And she's like, it's not in our budget.
I was like, think about how many
Do
cool
have
buttons we could sell.
fundraisers just for it.
Just for the button maker.
Yeah, please get us a button maker. Yeah, we have.
Set up a Cherry Blossom Club wish list on Amazon.
A
and be like,
GoFundMe.
"Hey," a GoFundMe. Says, we need a button maker.
We desperately want this button maker.
Yeah, we
Please
don't get
give
to
us
do
some.
those for HerdCon. We just have to go,
Gosh.
like, please sponsor us.
Please, Monica, please.
What's your like favorite of the spot? Like, do you have a favorite sponsor that you were like so excited to
I
get?
don't know if she can answer that.
Oh wait, maybe.
I've just been really surprised because I would say the first couple years, would you say, Heather?
Mhm.
Our sponsors were all departments from the campus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Except for that con.
we did have
Tekka.
Tekken, or Tekken.
Yeah.
There we go. Teco, which is the anime con up in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
It's a
right.
big Japanese and anime convention up in Pittsburgh. And we actually have an alumni that works with them, Jack
Oh, that's so
Garney.
cool.
And
Mhm.
so yeah, he actually was one of our sponsors, but most of our sponsors have been actual university departments so far. And it's been really exciting that, they're taking an interest in it and everything. And I think this last year we just started getting more sponsors from outside of
That's
campus,
so cool.
which is it's just like, wow, that means we're being noticed.
Mhm.
Yay.
Yay. They
You
s-
know, this year we actually had a lot of people coming up. We had more people coming up to the table at SabasaCon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, more people. In fact, there were two faculty members from Marshall that came up and they both said, "Hey, when is the panel registration going to open up? Because I want to do a panel."
Oh, that's awesome. That's what I want to hear.
yeah, I'm so excited for the panels. I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting, our panel organizers, Dr. April Fugit and Dr. Brittany Black. We're waiting on their go ahead for when they're wanting to put the panels up.
Mhm.
They send out the whole registration for us and everything. And I know the fun thing is they do so many conventions themselves and they present at, which is amazing to me. It's like, ooh, they're doing
Mhm.
academic presentations at Comic Cons. And it's just, I love it.
That's
It's like,
so
yes.
bring the like I don't know what the nerd nerd
I don't know what you're trying to say.
it's fair. Like there's like fandom nerd and then there's like academic nerd, bring like
Oh,
the
yeah.
academic nerdery.
Oh
too.
yeah.
So are you
Oh
hoping
yeah,
for
it
more, like
happens.
educational panels or like what panels are you hoping for?
I love them all. I love anything from how to's because so many where we do have such a wide variety of people that attend. I mean, I loved it. There were babies at HerdCon and there were grandparents and they were all there doing stuff. And one of my favorite things was a teenager um, who is in full furry costume with their grandparent.
I was just about to say
And
I did see
I was
multiple
just so
entire families.
happy. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it really means a lot to me that that family feels comfortable here and it's bringing them together.
And
And yeah, I'm all for all different types of panels because of that, because there are going to be kids who don't know how to create their own costumes. There are going to be adults who want to know about the psychology of fandom, things like that. So
Yeah.
they're so much fun. So I
Or
hope to stream them again. I want to stream
Ooh.
them to the public libraries again.
that's cool.
oh, we had a lot of interest in that at WVLA.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first year that we did HerdCon, we were both attending WVLA and they were so excited that we were doing HerdCon. And
Mhm.
we shared live streaming links to public libraries and
That's
there were
cool.
simultaneous events at the Brooke County Public Library
Mhm.
up near Wheeling and over near Shepherdstown
That's
that
Mhm.
were going on during HerdCon and they were watching our panels.
really that's
And
That's
this is
special,
a chance
like-
for for anybody who's a part of HerdCon, if you want to get exposure or get, if you're doing like some kind of academic presentation that you really want to be able to share, it's a great way to do it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that goes back to wanting to do things for free by sharing it to all these public libraries. Anybody can still be a part, even if they can't be here physically. Oh
Yeah. That was one thing. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but Putnam County was one of the ones that was interested in doing it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And they're
so
really close
cool.
by too. So
Mhm. And they may send some people down to do a table. So
that would be awesome. I
Yeah.
know South Charleston Public Library is talking about doing, they've got their own podcast as well.
Really?
Mhm.
So we're talking about maybe getting them a table during HerdCon so that they can do a remote.
That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
But yeah,
Will you be doing a remote podcast at HerdCon? Or will you be way too busy because you'll
I
be
don't
bouncing
know.
around everywhere?
Heather and I tend to be bouncing around a lot during HerdCon, but we did manage to do an interview last year with Critically Absurd TV's podcast.
Oh yeah, that was genius.
Yeah,
I
it
think
turned out
I'd-
really well. It was a lot of fun.
I think it'd be so cool to interview some of the vendors and like go up and be like what do you like? I think that'd be such an interesting look
Tell
at.
me about this.
Yeah, tell me about this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw someone was doing like it was a dice seller and they had to roll the dice and then that's how many seconds they had to like explain their whole bit.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
like real fun to like watch and be like, okay, 36 seconds. Let's go. Here's my whole thing.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. Now we are going to do a remote for the West Virginia Makes Festival November 4th.
Yeah.
So
Put that on your
which
calendars.
It's a lot. Yeah, put it on your calendars. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
It runs from 9 to 2 here in the student center, and they're actually taking a book I guess a note from our book, and they're taking over the student center this year. In the past, they've just done
Yes.
the
Yeah.
plaza. So I've been working with Deacon and some of the ones from his team, and it's like, I took them on tours and said, these are the ways that we use this space, and this is how we organized it.
That's so cool.
Here's our maps so that you can use them to kind of help organize however you want. But yeah, we are going to do a remote that day and record it. And if I can find a way, I'm hoping to take email addresses for the people that participate.
Yeah.
And then maybe send their snippet so that they can do stuff with it in class if they want. Because there's a lot of like middle school and high school students that attend that
Oh my
event.
goodness. That's
So
so
it's like, here, now you can take it home and edit it and do what you want with it and maybe make it a classroom project.
that's so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have
Wow.
like a question for you that I'm really curious about.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how did this happen? Like when did you guys get the idea, let's do this? And then when were you like, did you realize, wow, this could actually happen?
Oh, Monica.
Started.
has it truly sunk in yet that this is what you guys are doing? Like
Oh gosh.
I don't think
Career.
any other like university really has their own con. Like that's cool, you know?
There are some.
Really?
WVU actually does one as well.
do they?
Um,
Oh, ours is cool.
Yeah, but they haven't done it since before COVID.
yeah. But
And I don't think they're gonna do it this year either.
oh, I hate that. I love that we picked it back up and didn't let it die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
But
you
we
guys-
started with the Dean of Libraries, Monica Brooks. She got the idea, hey, it'd be fun to do this. So we started throwing it around in 2018.
Yeah.
So we started throwing around the
Wow.
idea, and we started having meetings that summer, I guess. And by the fall, we had a plan, and it was like, let's run, let's do it. So
That's so
And then hello, sponsors.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Monica has been our biggest sponsor recruit. Because Monica has gone to all the departments and talked to them and played it up. And that's where we started.
yeah.
Just getting university funding for it. And I think the library gave us seed money for the first year. And that's how we were able to do the shirts and stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been crazy. It's been kind of insane because we've just learned as we go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We make things up on the fly.
Improv.
It's
Let's
the best
go.
way to do it.
Oh, it's been educational.
What
Oh,
is
yeah.
something that like
It's
you
been
guys
fun.
have kind of like turned around on where you're like, this will be so fun and cool, and then you're like, actually, maybe not, or like how has like a plan changed so much that like maybe it's not even recognizable from its original plan?
Oh gosh, I don't know. We started out with, just the basics of, hey, what's a con usually got? So we've got our vendors. We wanted to make sure it had the educational component. So we were bringing in the exhibitor tables so that the different departments could kind of have a face.
Yeah.
and play around with it. And I'm trying to think as far as things that haven't have
I don't think
switched
honestly,
dramatically.
I think all of our ideas on some level, in some form, have
None of them
either
have really switched dramatically, have they?
no. I mean, the ones
That's
they've
just
they're either in future plans or they've been out there.
Yeah. Now there are things that haven't happened
Mhm.
at times. Like, I mean, we really wanted to
The
have
blood drive.
some kind of robotics the first year. We've wanted
Yeah.
to do the blood drive, and of course, COVID.
as it does with
So-
everything.
Oh yeah,
Every
Yeah.
oh yeah, that one hurt so bad. That's
Yeah.
probably been the biggest difficulty is when we had that first
Oh God.
2020. We were like 1 to 2 weeks out from the
We
con.
were no, it wasn't
It was
even a
like-
week.
it
It
was
was
like the week before.
Monday.
It was that week then, and it was just the blood just streamed out of all of our faces. It was like all the work we've done, and we have to somehow contact everybody and say sorry.
Yeah.
You can't. And thankfully we weren't doing tickets at that time, really,
Yeah.
except for the VIPs, and that was really, you weren't really paying for a VIP ticket. You're paying for t-shirts and all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah. I remember, I actually vividly remember getting the news that HerdCon was canceled that year. And I think we were like, I think maybe in my dorm room or something. Like we were all together and we're all like, hey guys, check your emails. Like it's not happening.
Oh yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
devastated.
Yeah, and I was last minute trying to find ways to salvage something, and that's when we were trying to do online panels for anybody who would do it. And that's
That was the year after.
the year after we kept up with online panels so that it still had a presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We wanted to still have a presence even if we weren't a full con. So
Mhm.
I think that's also something you guys do really well is like in the student thing, you're like, hey guys, if you want to write articles for this, like go ahead. I've been working on mine. Don't even worry.
oh yes, I appreciate that.
But you guys really do make sure to upkeep your presence, even
Yeah.
not.
It's hard. You
Yeah.
can't believe how hard it is to keep
Oh.
a presence in social media.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Don't even worry. I understand.
But I love having you guys help with stuff like that and contribute to it, because it needs to have your signature on it too, because it's a university. It needs to express the faculty, the students, the staff, everybody in some capacity. So, yeah.
So kind of off topic, but if you could write one of those articles that you were asking, like just any of like nerd culture fandom article, what would you write?
Oh,
Same goes to you, Heather.
yeah. Heather,
Oh,
can you
gosh.
answer first?
You know, I think it would be fun to do an ultimate cosplay.
Ooh, okay.
An ultimate cosplay, no money, but it would have to be something that you made.
That could be fun.
So, like EVA foam or reasonable amounts of time.
Yeah.
An article about that would be fun.
Yeah, I think that would
That
be
could be a
fun.
lot of fun. I would probably not do an article. I would probably try to do a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I would probably try to do, because I love doing the podcast, partially because we can sit and do discussions and stuff. And so it'd be either video or audio. Gosh, one of my major topics is always mental health.
Yeah.
And I find that pop culture has both its positive and negatives. And I love bringing that conversation together and talking about, hey, what are ways that we can improve everyone's mental health with, whether it's, board games or cosplay, the different community kind of events. My headphones are falling off. But yeah, I love that conversation. And I would probably do probably a podcast episode just on talking about the mental health side of pop culture.
Mhm.
I think that'd be so interesting.
I think it would have to be a panel. We'd have to have more room because I'd like to have, I'd like to have someone who is like a member of like the cosplay community, a member of the gaming community, and I want as much diversity as possible. I would like to have people of color
Absolutely.
who are able to talk about the difficulties of being a person of color in pop culture fandoms
Yeah,
because
because it's not easy.
yeah, it's kind of like with being a female in gaming and the weird like the gatekeeping
Yeah.
that tends to happen, and that falls into the negative side of the mental health. But there's so much
It's a very
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
It's a very nuanced
as
topic.
much as we're the cosplay community is sharing, we
There is a lot of-
also there's a lot of bullying.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
and navigating that is also very interesting. Like
Mhm.
the lines and the sometimes the groups where it's like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna interact with that at all because it's such a gatekeepy, bully like fandom or
Mhm.
like whatever. So I'm just gonna stay out of that one. And like it's interesting when
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it would make an excellent panel, probably a panel discussion, live stream it and have it so people can both send in questions
That-
and also be in the audience and ask questions
Yeah.
because I think it's a big topic.
for sure.
It's really wide open, and I would love to hear what people have to say.
I think that'd be really interesting.
Mhm.
That might be a event we try to do.
Yeah, if you ever need
And,
help.
Okay.
I have so many opinions.
She does, that's true.
It's kind of hard for me to stop talking,
That's
like
okay.
when I have like strong opinions.
That's yeah. As somebody who lives with you, I know. But yeah, so
Yeah.
mine would definitely be about Spider-Man, probably about the different iterations of Spider-Man
Ooh.
and about what the time period that a Spider-Man was created in and what that means for each Spider-Man and how they're different and whatnot, because I'm a big Spider-Man nerd.
Oh,
Spider-Man's cool.
That's my
that's
favorite.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I don't know. There and I really like your idea of like these articles and these videos because it is like you can really get broad with it. Like
Oh yeah.
it's so you guys are
Right.
cool.
And the fun thing is HerdCon is open to everybody, and by opening it up and say, hey, what would you guys want to put out there? It gives you a chance to interact with all these other people who might have been like waiting in the wings, kind of like, yeah, okay, they're sharing stuff about, these events, who might not have engaged in it, but then they see, oh, this person has written this awesome article on Spider-Man or on how to get started in this, comic storyline,
Yeah.
or who is going to give a DM lesson online
Yeah.
that I can learn about how to do this. So there are so many different ways for people to engage.
You mentioned the family with the furry and the grandmother
Yeah.
earlier, and I think that's also like other families can look at that and see like, wow, I could probably have that with my family if I just engaged with my child or like talk to them about their interests and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And I think that's another great thing about HerdCon is
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That is something that people are taking away from it. That makes me happy. Well, it looks like we are coming up on 6 o'clock.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We have been talking almost an hour and a half, guys.
Wow, and it didn't even feel
Yeah,
like it at
I
all.
know. So we're going to start wrapping up. And if you guys want to come back sometime, just let us know.
Yeah, literally anytime. This was so fun. I really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
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 At some point, we'll have to do some how-to videos. for
Oh, 100%.
cosplay.
And
or a closet cosplay video.
yeah, and next time we can, if
Oh,
we're on next,
cool.
we can bring props that we've made and like
Oh yeah,
all fun stuff that,
that is always fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
give little lessons. But yeah.
So in ending note, anything that you guys want to suggest, anything that you guys are planning for your group for the
Or
future?
how they can get in touch with you to join, or
Yeah.
Well,
You go ahead.
oh, gee, thank you. You can follow us on Instagram, and we have, if you want to join us, you're a Marshall student, you can join us on HerdLink. We have meetings pretty much every other week. That range from like playing Jackbox games together to like tutorial based meetings. So and like I said, we on that herd link we have a Discord. So and we are, like we said, very democratic. So if you ever have any ideas of like cosplay stuff you guys want to do, you can get in touch with us at Cherry Blossom Cosplay MU on Instagram.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, very
Alright.
exciting.
And when's your next meeting?
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow. So
the
the
13th.
13th of October, and you said every 2 weeks, right?
Every Thursday, 2 weeks, about 5 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
6
Yeah.
p.m.
And where
Yeah.
is it located usually?
Normally in Corbley Hall. We normally do 102.
105.
105.
It changes every once in a while depending on what kind of meeting we're having. Like
Okay.
tomorrow, we're going to have it with the rolly desk so we can all be close to each other and like hear ideas instead of
Okay.
like the lecture hall where everyone's over there.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome, though. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, this has been really fun having you guys here, though.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting us on here. We're,
Yeah.
as we mentioned before, but we are beyond excited for HerdCon, and being involved has been some of the most fun. So thank you guys so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're very
thank you
welcome.
so much.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, Heather, you got any closing statements?
May the force be with you.
And also with you.
well, yes.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being a part of the HerdCon podcast again. Again, we're here with the Cherry Blossom Cosplay Club at Marshall University, and we've had a blast. And we'll share information with their Herd link and their Instagram on our episode when we have the episode notes up. So yeah, we're excited, guys. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.